Hello and welcome to Top Gear. Now, we've been told that in this new series, we've got to feature more green cars. So, here's one. It's really the greenest car we could find, really, and hopefully it will keep the environmentals happy, because coming up now is what we've got in this series for normal people. And he's off! Just a hint of wheel spin, but then it digs in. This thing really is ferocious off the line. Green Lambo here, because Stig kept trying to mount the white one. Yes. Very.
Yes, and I could point out that it's £16,000 and yours is what, 23?
Where's your aircon? Cruise control? Sat nav? You haven't got anything.
It's got aircon.
It's an optional extra.
It's an option that's been selected.
You've only got, what's you got, 197 horsepower?
Yeah.
204.
That's very nearly as much power as yours.
In the same way that the Egyptian army is very nearly as powerful as the American army. I decided to respray my car, but even this had problems. It's a nice colour. Yeah, you know that Skoda green?
Yeah.
I bought some. You know when I did the police car?
Yeah, yeah.
That's the only paint we've got.
Well, that's a lovely colour. Although if you're going to change the colour, you'll have to be a lot more thorough about it. Like inside the bonnet, you have to do under the bonnet, under the boot lid. They will.
While Jeremy carefully applied his new paint,
Check it out! Where is the heater?
Well, that is a problem because the engine, of course, is at the back and the pipes are... It hasn't got one.
You're the stupidest man I've ever met.
I'll tell you what, though.
Your car's rubbish.
I'll tell you what, though.
Put the roof up, then.
Mind your head, mind your head, mind your head. Oh, you see?
It's no better with the roof up!
If anything, it catches the breeze, I think.
Oh, that's gone!
It does happen.
Stand aside. What's that?
Boadicea conquered the entire Roman army using something very similar to this, so I should be able to easily conquer 4 hoodies in a stolen Datsun.
What happens if you just pull up next to the pavement and there are some women and children walking along?
They'll have their legs cut off. In jail, no one can hear you scream. Scary. Boadicea wheel attachments. Scary. You, presumably, have nothing. Traditional V8s, well, like this, for example, they're brash and they're loud and they're childish. What have you done, Hammond?
There it is. Not just a V8, the definitive V8.
Is it?
Ford Mustang, the Mach 1. Look at it.
It's a bit...
It's brilliant.
unnecessary.
No, it's not. That's the whole point of it. It's stripped down. Everything on it is functional.
Is it?
Yes.
This rear spoiler, what does it do?
Nothing.
Does the front splitter do anything?
No.
Racing fuel filler cap?
No, it's just a cover.
Is the engine 19 feet long?
No, it's not.
Why then has it got a 19-foot bonnet?
Well, because they decided they wanted to make the Mustang bigger in '71. So they did. And they did that by just making it bigger.
Your Porsche, OK, is £15,000 more
Than a GT3,
than a normal GT3, because it's got fewer parts.
It's lighter.
So it stands to reason the fewer parts you have on your Porsche, the more expensive it becomes. Until you get to the point where somebody with no Porsche at all walks past a showroom, they're going to get charged £1 million.
Oh, no, look, hang on price. How much is yours?
150,000.
How much more is it than an ordinary one?
That's a pretty flat.
No, how much more is it? Come on, how much more is it than an ordinary one?
26,000.
26 grand. Well, there you go. For what? Oh, well, that's a problem right there. I could have sworn this car was bright green, but according to the options list, it's Verde Mantis. Other colours available include Arancio Borealis, Grigio Nimbus and Marron Alcestis. How's a Premiership footballer going to get his head round that? Anyway, to business.
You just know the designers have said, can it be green? And can it have a mouth that could be used for sifting krill? And can the bonnet be 9 miles long? And can it have bits of the Battlestar Galactica in its gills? The bosses obviously thought they're being idiotic. But to keep them sweet, they let them get on with it. The upshot is a car that only really appeals to those who have a mental age of 8. And that's me and every other man. Partly that's because this is the first car ever to come with its own high-visibility jacket. And partly it's because it produces 739 horsepowers. Want to hear what that sounds like? Well, turn up the volume on your TV and listen to this. Welcome, everyone, to the world's first electric supercar. I am astounded. It is as quiet as a library for church mice.
Every modification I've made is inspired by my desire not to run over any of the locals. So it has, for example, Buddha looking down, a lucky elephant, the lucky owl, which is very important. It has better mirrors, better lights, and it's wearing a high visibility jacket.
Yes, that's a you.
Hammond arrived.
Oh, yeah. Let me talk you through this. What I've done, I've built a frame out of hazel through which I have weaved English flowers and shrubs. It's basically a hedgerow. Better still, it is growing because I've planted them. So it's got compost and soil to provide the nutrients required to let my car flourish and bloom. You don't wash this car, you water it. It's alive. It's brilliant, isn't it?
Clematis?
No, it's cleared up.
Have you become a hippie?
No, but I can feel it starting inside me. What have you done?
Well,
Sadly, before I could tell him, Jeremy arrived. In a snuff movie. Clearly, Jeremy had done rather more than that.
Let me talk you through what I've done. There's a fair bit. Got a winch here mounted on a steel platform, and I have armour-plated steel running from the front to the back on the undersides. Headlamps, they're now from a motorcycle. I needed the space ordinarily taken up by the lights for the snorkels, which I fitted so the car can now wade through about 6 feet of water. Moving further back, big trunky tyres, but the wheels are actually smaller. Now, that meant the original brakes wouldn't fit. Had to remove those, replace them with the brakes from a Golf GTI. Then I moved the brake and fuel lines inboard to give them extra protection and removed the air suspension, replaced it, in fact, with long travel shocks and steel coils.
You did all that in 2 days?
Well, it was that workshop. I don't know. It was just so well equipped.
It was well equipped.
So I was able to do, I think, a pretty thorough job.
I am genuinely impressed.
It's a Buick Riviera
Oh, yeah.
with a self-opening boot. So I'll shut that.
When did that happen?
Just now, as you pulled
Okay,
up.
that's a feature of the model. This is the legendary 1971 Buick Riviera, the boat tail. What?
No, I'm stunned. Well, no, the thing is we said, why did American cars not catch on in Europe?
Yeah.
Did this even catch on in America?
Well, that's the thing. You see, the Riviera was Buick's answer to the Ford Thunderbird. So
Yeah.
from '63, they were making Rivieras, and it was doing well. They were selling quite a few, not as many as the Thunderbird.
Yeah.
So in '71, they said, let's make something really striking, really new, really out there. And they made this, and everybody hated it.